everyone, welcome back. Miss Jenny here for our monthly video in replacement of our Zoom meeting. So today we're going to learn a couple different ways of how to draw a fox. Right, super cute. Fox are one of my favorites. So we have this method up here where it has the belly and more of the belly showing, and then I'll show you another way where the tail is in front. Okay, so you guys can decide which one you want to do. And you are going to want pencil with an eraser. You're also going to want some kind of coloring utensils. So you could use, in this one I did crayon, but I ended up having to do like 2 layers of crayon colored in there in order to get it nice and dark and bold. So you could also use oil pastels. You can use markers, colored pencils. Colored pencils would take a lot longer to fill in your page. Alright, and you can get creative with it. I'll show you how I did the trees and stuff, but if you want to do something else instead, you can. Okay. So, and you're going to want a white piece of paper, and then some kind of black drawing utensil. So, I used a black marker, but you could use, black oil pastel, something like that. Okay, so I'm going to go in, and I'm going to start with marker, so you guys can see what I'm doing, but you're going to want to do yours with the pencil and eraser, so that you can make sure that you feel good about it, and so you can erase any mistakes. Okay, so the first way, which is this one up here, I start out with the head, and you can see that this head is really big, okay? It almost reminds me of like an axe if you turn it sideways and put like a stick on the end, and it's going to be in the upper half of the page. So if this is about like bottom half, top half, you want it to be up in here. Okay, so the head would actually be the same for both foxes. Excuse me. Here, see, I'm going to bring it up here. Okay, so in this top part, I'm going to start out with a big curve, but I don't want it so far up that I'm losing room for my ears, okay? So I'm going to do it, if this was half, and then half of that, so 1/4. Okay, I'm going to do a nice long curve. Oh boy. Almost like a half circle. That one ended up being a bit bigger than my first one, and that's okay. Alright, then the ears, or excuse me, let's finish this face here, and then we'll go in and do our ears. Alright, so we have like this point that comes down, and it curves up and a little bit down on the ends. Right, so I try and figure out where about halfway in the middle, down just below, and then I'm going to bring it up and curve around. If you need to, you can bring it back up and to meet with that line. And kind of like so. On the end will be the nose, the little circle. I'm just going to color that in so you guys can see, but if you're with your pencils, you don't need to color it in yet, okay? Then inside of the face, we have these 2 curves that come up, right? There's a little bit of a gap in the middle, and then it curves up and comes right up here on the sides where the ears would be. Right, so I'm going to go in and do a curve up on that side, and a curve up on that side. Okay. And we'll finish our face and do our ears. So inside of here we have our eyes. Now the eyes would be more towards the center of the head. This part right here that comes out is like the fur on the fox's cheeks. So you want to keep it more like in here rather than out here, okay? So a little bit more towards this line, this V in the middle. I'm going to do 2 circles for my eyes. And if you want, you could do that smaller circle inside of them, either on both of them on the right or the left, towards the outside of the circle, because that will be that white left over in the eyes, right? So don't color in now, you'll color in with black later, but just to show you what I mean, it'll be that white dot that we leave inside of the eyes to make our fox look more alive. Like that. Okay, ears. Those fox have like really big ears, right? And that helps them to be able to hear really well and to like hunt food, mice and stuff like that. Especially in the winter, they listen for where the mice are underneath the snow, and then they pounce down in the snow to go get them. So nice big triangles for the ears. I'm going to do one on that side and on that side. And then I do another one inside of that for the inside part of the ear. Okay, and there we have our fox's head. Now, it's going to be different on each of these for the body and stuff. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pause and do the head again on the other side, and then I'll show you the 2 different bodies, okay? All right, so I drew 2 heads. This one ended up being a little bit smaller. So I think I'm actually going to show you this body on this one because there's more room for it. And then I'll show you the one with the tail in front of the body on this side. Okay. So what we're going to want to do is, first I go in and I do almost like the letter U, but it is a little bit more narrow, close together here, and it's wider down towards the rump. Okay, so it's going to come out of the cheeks on the sides and loop around like that. And I'm not going to have it go all the way down to the bottom. You can if you want. Inside of the body, I did 2 like really long skinny U's for the legs. Sorry, here, let me angle this better. Let me try and do it this way. I like to do lines towards the bottom here so that I can give it some socks, right, where it's it's like white. And then the tail, you can do it on the right or the left. I have a little bit more space on this side, so I think I'm going to do it over here. Okay, and it's almost like an S. So it comes down, and then it curls up like that. And then we're going to take another line and connect it. It's going to disappear behind the body. But that line, that might go over my cheek here. So I'm going to make sure it stops if it hits my cheek and starts again on the other side. Because my tail is behind my fox, not in front of, or my fox's face, right? It's in the back. Then on the end of the tail, I add in some zigzags to make it look furry, where that white tip is on the tail. If you want to, you could add in like a patch of fur along the chest or in the middle of the chest. You could do a belly on your fox, right? I think I might go in and do like a patch of fur. Almost kind of like a heart shape, but you don't really see where it doesn't have that like angle in the middle. for fun. Right, when you're getting ready to outline too, you could always add in like some zigzags, like if you want to do zigzags on the cheeks here to make them look more furry, or on the ears, you could do that too. So there's one kind of fox. I'm going to turn this around and I'll show you the other kind of fox. Let me angle this and my light down. Okay, so that shape where it's round at the bottom and then it curves up, we're going to do that same kind of shape as if this wasn't cut off, and we're going to do it sideways in front of our fox. So I'm going to have it be just below my fox down in here. Okay, so I'm going to do like that S, and then it's going to curve around, and it's going to come up. Okay, so we have our S shape, and then it curves up to go meet at the beginning. And that's the tail kind of wrapped around in front of the fox. Back here behind, we would have our body that disappears behind the tail. So I'm going to do two lines that come down and meet with my tail. And fox have that white tip, so I'm going to add in my zigzags. And there is our other kind of fox. Right, so you have a couple different kinds that you can do. There's all kinds of foxes, right? Like this one right up there, up here, this is one that somebody else painted for my son when he was born, right? And you can see that one is different than these ones, right? That little loop that goes around the eye comes down a little bit further. And instead of angling down, the cheeks go up, right? There's lots of ways you could do fox. But the main thing is that big bushy tail, and then the white around the eyes, and those big ears. Okay. Once you have your fox drawn, I like to color it in. And I like to use oil pastels because you don't have to like press down as hard or do multiple layers to get rid of most of the white. Okay. And then when I'm coloring too, I left right around the eyes white. I didn't bother coloring that in. I left the feet white, the tip of the tail white, and I colored the rest orange. Except for the inside of the ears, you could either leave that white or you could add in like pink, or I did that like peach color, where it was kind of in between the white and the orange. Right, so inside of the ears here, I'll color that in. Now, if you're going to use a marker to outline, I would go in and outline it after you've drawn it and you feel good about it, and then color it in. Or if you're going to outline with something else, like your oil pastel or your black crayon, I would do the outline at the end, okay? Because if you're going to outline with the black oil pastel, if you do it first, then that black's going to get mixed in with your bright colors, and it's going to make them look muddy and not as nice. So it helps if you do black last. So if you're coloring in the eyes with your black oil pastel, the nose, anything you're doing black, you want to save it for last. Okay. You color, 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 color. So I'm going to color this guy and the one on the back. I won't color the one on the back yet. I'm going to color it, let you see where the white and orange will be. Right, these will be orange. This will be orange. This would be orange. And this part would be orange. But the rest, the tip of the tail, the openings around the eyes. And then if you're doing this one, those feet, if you did like a patch of fur, that would be white. And then inside the ears, you can leave it white. You could do pink. You could do that peach color. All right, so I'm going to color those, show it to you. And then on this one, there's a lot more room back behind my fox. So I'll just show you how I did those trees in case you wanted to add in any of those trees. Okay, I'm going to pause this so you don't have to sit here and just watch me color. And then after that, I'll show you and we'll do some trees and grass and stuff. Alright, you guys can pause here. Okay, so here I have my fox colored. And as you can see, it's nice and bold. There's not too much white showing. I didn't have to press down super hard with my oil pastels. And I didn't have to do multiple layers. And the other nice thing about using oil pastels is that if you do have those like white spots that show, you could take your finger and kind of rub gently to fill those in. Just watch out though, because sometimes doing that can make a little bit of a mess. Alright, so if you can see the difference, so here I have those white spots, but if I just gently rub it in, then they start to disappear. And it looks nice and blended and solid. And same within my tail. Notice that I'm just going one direction. I'm letting go and pulling, letting go, pulling. I'm not going back and forth like this. Because sometimes if you start to go back and forth in one spot too much, it will take off the oil pastel more than just move it around. Okay, so think about rather than like smudging by going back and forth, that you're just gently pulling it and moving it into those empty spots. Alright, last part. Oops. Right over here. It's good to go towards the end of the page instead of away from it for that exact reason. And there we go. I have my box colored in. Okay, we're going to turn this around. We're going to talk about the grass, trees, and butterflies, how to draw them, and then you can color them in, and then we will be done. So you don't have to add in these extra things. You can keep it as just your fox. I think it's fun to give your fox some context, right? Which means an idea of where your fox is. Okay, is it in a forest? Is it in a field of flowers? Is it next to a pond? Where is your fox? Is it in winter or spring or summer, fall? Okay, so where did my marker go? There it is. Okay. Again, when you draw other things, I would do them with your pencil and eraser and then outline them later. But I feel like my fox is kind of lonely and I want to give it a friend. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to do a butterfly right here. I'm going to make it a bit bigger. Okay, so I do like a really long hot dog shape. And then I give a little circle on the end. Give it some little antennas. And then I do the wings. So I do the top wings first. That kind of angle out. And then the bottom wings, they come down below, and you can either have them just come back up to meet the fox, or to meet the body, right? Or you could do a butterfly that has more like wavy wings. So you can add in like little waves in it. And you can have almost like a little teardrop shape at the end. Okay. Inside the wings, it could be fun to add in, you know, like circles or other patterns. Then with my trees, first, before you do trees, I like to do the grass. Right, so the grass would be back behind my fox a little ways. Just some zigzags. Some of them longer, some of them shorter. And then I do some little like tufts of grass here and there to keep that grassy look, just those zigzags. You can add in some flowers if you wanted. And let's see, I'll do a tree over here. Okay, the trees would be last because those would be back behind stuff. So if you're drawing a tree, you're going to want to have the lines disappear behind all of these other things. Right, so if I have one side of my tree that comes down and it stops at the grass, goes all the way up off the top of the page. I'm going to have a second line, come down, up, hit my butterfly, so I'm going to stop, start again down below. There is my tree. You can also do other trees where, you know, like half of it goes off the page, and you can have a part where it starts to angle out with a branch, right, and add in like a curve at the top so that it looks like it branches off. You might have some trees that go back behind your fox. Just a few trees. Oh, let's see. If I were to imagine where this one would come down, it would come down right over here, like that. Okay, and then I made my trees look like Quakies, or aspens. Now those have a very distinct look, right? And you often see them when you go camping. So to give them that look, what I did was I went in and did some stripes that came across from the edge a little bit. And you could do a couple next to each other. And then I went to the other side. And you could do like one. You could do ones that go in the middle. And I kind of just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And here and there, I like to go in and add in an eye, which is like a dot that has like a parentheses above and below. Kind of like that. Alright, so add in a little bit more down here, and then it looks like an aspen. Okay, let's keep going. Try it over here. Maybe I'll do just an eye, a couple lines. Maybe I won't do an eye at all up here in this one. Maybe I'll just save it for this guy over here, right? And you could also do like little ones if you do branches. Okay, and then you would just color it in. Right, so I did in between my trees and behind my fox with blue. Did a little bit of gray in my trees, or you could keep them white. Colored whatever colors in the butterfly, but the body I did black. And of course I did my grass green. Okay, so have fun with it. You can decide whether or not you want to do those extra things or just leave it with one little friend. And send me some pictures when you guys are done. I'd love to see them. Well, it was nice doing art with you today, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.